Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is a one-on-one standard commentary. Looks like red and blue so far. Magmatic Insight. Okay. Blue and white. Jace. So he needs to get 5 cards into his graveyard. And dead Jace. Can't blame him. Second Magmatic Insight and a second Radiant Fountain discard. You know, it's surprising how even they are, even though the red-blue player has so many more cards in his graveyard. Tormenting Voice. Discards Send to Sleep. Delve Treasure Cruise? I have to say, he has burned through a lot of cards. And now it's a little bit of a standoff. Because both of these decks seem to be control-ish. We haven't seen hardly anything from the blue-white player, so let's see, what is he going to play? Ojutai's Command. Bring back Jason, draw a card. And dead Jace. You know, it's just a fact of life for Jace. 2 toughness, no power. You're gonna die. And you're gonna die a lot. Last breath. Exile target creature with power 2 or less, and its controller gains 4 life. I'm not familiar with all the cards in Standard, but this one seems kind of weak. Power 2 or less, and they gain 4 life for 2 mana? To me, that feels kind of like a ripoff. Alhammarret's Archive. If you would gain life, gain twice as much. If you would draw a card, except the first one you draw in each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. So he has just turned on his draw engine. And the blue-white player didn't play anything. Discarded End Hostilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If he plays another Jace, or another Ojutai's Command to get Jace back, he'll be able to flip him. Sphinx's Tutelage. Okay, so... Alright, what's he got? Command? No, it's creature spell that counters, so... Clash of Wills, okay. Yeah, that would have hurt a lot. Treasure Cruise? Or is it Dig Through Time is the other one, right? But that costs 3 blue, I think? No, 2 blue. So, there. Two blue. Yeah, I have a feeling that this isn't going to end well for the blue-white player. Whelming Wave. Though he didn't, the red-blue player didn't do much of anything in his last turn. Matering Network. 10 cards. Sphinx's Tutelage. Dissolve. Hard counter and he gets to scry for 1. Sphinx's Tutelage. Okay, he's got his mill engine up and ready. He just needs... Well, there you go. Draw a card. Yow! So he just drew 4 cards off of that. What has he got? He's putting a storage counter on Matering Network. Okay. And surprisingly, he only hit 2 every time. It's lucky for the blue-white player, because that mill effect is brutal. "31 cards left in his deck. It is entirely conceivable that he could mill him out on his next turn. I mean, 31 cards does seem like a lot. Oh. He conceded. Yeah, unless you have an answer for this right now, you know, in his position, it's kind of a lot, you know, it's a bad position to be in. And then again, you know, I don't know what's in his deck, whether he even has an answer for it when it's in play. Let's have a look at what the cards he lost. Oh, he had Ugin in his deck. Ugin was an answer to this, but Yeah, he was in a bad position, so it's understandable that he conceded. And let me check real quick if it'll let me, which it doesn't appear to want to let me. I wanted to see if this is a one game or a match. Okay, I just had to wait. And since I didn't join immediately when it started, it doesn't give me the game option, or the game information. What is this? Oh, this does. Okay. Now I know. Because a lot of the time when I do the commentator games, I have to hop in as fast as I can to try and not miss anything. Arashin Cleric. He's a 1/3 that lets you gain 3 life. Well, the red-blue player doesn't seem to deal a whole lot of damage, so life gain really isn't that helpful. But at the same time, the blue-red player also doesn't appear to play many creatures either. And a 1/3 is harder for him to kill. We saw him with the... oh, a second Arashin Cleric. We saw him play the 2 damage burn spells that can go to 3 if you have Spell Mastery. He would have to have Spell Mastery to be able to kill one of these with that. I have a feeling he'd feel like not wanting to. You know, a 1/3 having to throw a spell like that at it just to kill it. But if he doesn't have any other options, I guess he'll have to. Yeah, Fiery Impulse, that's what it was. You might as well have just punched him in the face with it. Or is it just a creature? Yeah, it is just a creature. Now I remember, I was disappointed in that card quite a bit when it came out. Why is it so hard for them to just print a 1 red cost that does 4 damage to a creature? Flame Slash was not broken. It was a sorcery. That's why it wasn't broken. Shock is not a broken card either. And yet, for some reason, they decide to do crap like this. I mean, it's gonna be good in Standard because they refuse to print better cards. Anger of the Gods. Okay, so he clears the board. I haven't seen any of his draw boosters. The what is that thing called? The Order of Kruphix? Or Alhemmerit's Vault? What was it called, the Vault? That was actually the first time I've ever seen that card. Elspeth. Okay. I think that this match has turned around quite well for the blue player. Or I mean the blue-white player. We haven't really seen any direct damage that he can deal to a player yet. Alhemmerit's Archive is what it's called. Archive. Yeah, so far this this game is entirely in the blue-white player's favor. Let's see, 6 mana, revoke existence. Okay, that's one of his big cards gone. He really needs another Anger of the Gods right now. Or Whelming Wave. I forgot about that because he discarded him and didn't play him. This card is actually... I love the flavor of it. But aside from just the flavor, it's a really good card. Oh, everything goes away unless you happen to have an octopus or kraken or a sea serpent or... you know. So, Treasure Cruise into Tormenting Voice, discards Roast, which, yeah, to be honest, we haven't seen anything from the blue-white player to warrant keeping the Roast. A second Tormenting Voice. I guess, yeah. Sphinx's Tutelage. Okay, hits the board. I have to admit, I am surprised to see two blue decks that neither one of them... Well, the blue-white deck is playing a little bit of counter, but it is surprising to see so little counters in two decks that both have blue. Alright, Anger of the Gods. Counter. Clash of Wills, right? Yeah, Clash of Wills. I have a feeling that... Oh, wow. He sacked her. I have +2/+2 in flying. Oh, I guess it would have been lethal. I didn't realize. So, we're waiting on game 3. Looks like they probably either cited like 1 or 2 cards real quickly, or their decks are exactly the same as the last game. Temple of Enlightenment. At first, I really didn't think that these lands were very good, because I didn't have an appreciation for Scry 1, but that's mainly because I don't play Standard. And Scry really came into its own in the Theros block. But after seeing what just Scry 1 on a land can do, now I know how powerful Scry 1 actually is. Alright, Tormenting Voice. In fact, if I had the money to do so, I would have bought a bunch of the Scry lands. But, as I've probably told you in the past, I am poor. I think I managed to... Well, this last year when I came back to playing Magic Online, I found out that I had 4 copies of a card that when I got it years ago was a dollar rare. Had turned into like a $7 rare. So I traded them all into a bot to get tickets, and then I was able to get some cards from the Theros block so that I could build a standard deck. And then got some other cards so that I could build some other decks. But I think aside from that, I think I put $5 into the game in the past year. That's one of the things that I'd really like if I could start making some money off of my channel. You know, if I hit it big, or get a sponsor. I wouldn't be opposed to that. And if I did, I'd be sure and let you guys know. But I'd like to be able to buy some cards, build some decks. Because as much as I have card-wise, you know, I'm sure that eventually, if I don't get any new ones, you guys are going to get tired of seeing the same decks that I play over and over and over again. So far, I did 2 Dictates of Kruphix. Magmatic Insight. He is drawing like crazy. The blue-white player is really... You know, it looks like he's waiting. So another Radiant Fountain. Sphinx's Tutelage. Now would be a good time for a Clash of Wills. And he had it. I have to say, though, I am surprised that he didn't sacrifice the flooded strand at the end of the blue-red guy's turn. Wow, a 4th Temple of Enlightenment. That was something that I should have been doing this whole time when the scry came up. Okay, put a card on the bottom that time. You know, I think I need to have the chat up the entire time during these commentator matches for reasons like that. Because as a spectator, you don't get to see what it says unless you have that up. Oh, wow! He discarded a Narset. Alright, a second Sphinx's Tutelage. Does he have another Clash of Wills? Because that's what it looks like. Yes, he does. And a second Sphinx's Tutelage? Yes. Unfortunately, he has no mana to take advantage of finally breaking through the counter wall. 9 cards. Does he have an answer for the Tutelage? Tranquil Cove to gain a life. And he still has the Flooded Strand. Okay, he had the Revoke Existence to get rid of it. I don't know what the blue-white player sided in versus this guy's deck, but you know, I'm sure Revoke Existence was a sideboard. I don't know how many copies of Clash of Wills he has main deck, but whatever he did, it looks like he's got a very measured counter to the Sphinx's Tutelage Mill. But then again, the mill deck doesn't have a whole lot of strategic options. Oh, and he conceded before he even saw what the guy played. I guess he just got tired of it and didn't expect that he'd be able to pull out of it. But like I was saying, the red-blue players didn't have a whole lot of strategic options to counter the blue-white player. I don't know whether that's because he doesn't have access to the cards, or whether it was poor planning on his deck build. But yeah, after that first game, the blue-white player, with whatever he sided into his deck, he was in control in both games for pretty much the entire game. I mean, that second game, it did take a little while for him to gain control, or gain, take over momentum. But it almost felt like it was inevitable that he was going to take over. And I don't know what else the red-blue player could have had in his deck to help him overcome that. I mean, he didn't have any direct damage that he could deal to a player, is one deficiency that I can think of. It looks like he doesn't have any creatures. But, that's as far as... and I guess Magic Online doesn't like it when you sit here for too long. But like I was saying, I don't know all the cards, so I don't know what he could have had to counter. But, it looks like in that matchup, the red-blue player is probably going to win the first game, and then the blue-white player is going to win the match. So, if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and I'll see you in the next video.